Hey there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's topic of discussion is 10 key principles for developing a growth mindset and achieving success in 2023. Well, a growth mindset is mandatory if you wish to achieve success in life. Why do I say that? You see, many people think that, you know what, I'll work a little and then I'll just go stagnant, and it's fine because I've already achieved success. But that's not how the world works. You see, you being stagnant and your progress being stagnant means that your performance is mandatorily deteriorating over time. That's because the world isn't stagnant, time isn't stagnant. So when you're stagnant but everyone else is progressing, you're regressing. That's how the world works. So you need, as a young hustler, you need a growth mindset if you wish to achieve utmost success with your capabilities. So, without wasting further time, let's get into it. The first and the most essential part of achieving a good growth mindset is to embrace the power of visualization. You see, visualization is a very powerful tool that can help you achieve your goals. Take some time every day to visualize yourself as the person you want to become in, let's say, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, doesn't matter. Picture yourself achieving your goals, being successful, being happy. This visualization will help you stay focused and stay motivated. Now, what do I mean by this? You see, one of my idols, Eman Gadzi, at the age of 18, he made his first ever $1 million. First ever $1 million at the age of 18, right? Now, what I do is, I don't look at him and be like, man, he was an exception, His time was different, his circumstances were completely different from mine. He lived in a completely different society and I just can never catch up to that. That's where you are defeated by someone like me who has a growth mindset. Now, what I will actually think is, man, he's just 2 years younger. He's just 2 years older than me. He started his agency at the age of 16 and he was able to scale it up to $1 million in just 2 years. I can do that too. The thing is, you need to put yourself in the shoes of your idol or your role model. All right? Now, even in the Bhagavad Gita, it says, visualize a positive outcome of your work. All right? A recent study showed a person who has a pessimistic mindset is more likely to get sick and is more likely to remain sick compared to a person who has a very optimistic mindset. Right? If I don't think, man, I'm sick, I'm in so much pain, everyone around me is hurt, I don't think I'll be able to do my work, you're going to remain sick for so much more longer than someone who's like, man, I'm sick, but you know what? I have responsibilities to do as a man. I have to go to work. I have to make money. Everyone around me is depending on me. And you know what will happen is, you won't even remember that you were sick by the end of the day. You would have done the same amount of work. You would have achieved the same amount of success that you would have if you weren't sick. All right? The thing is, your mind is a whole different being. Why is that? It only cares about itself. It only cares if it gets rest, if it gets enough dopamine, if it is just relaxed. But the fact of the matter is, if you allow your brain to work the way it wants to, you are never going to be successful. Your brain is not going to let you push through those boundaries. All right? What you have to do as a person willing to accept a growth mindset is breeze past that boundary and just visualize. All right? Now, what I want you to do is, I want you to think of a role model or role models. All right? Put yourself in their shoes. Think about what hardships they would have faced at your age with your circumstances. How would their mind think? All right? How would they comprehend the situation you were in? Now, The second and a very important part of achieving a growth mindset is to focus on things that you can control. You see, it's a very basic point, and a lot of people understand it, but they're not able to properly implement it in their lives. That's because it's very hard to follow it. You see, let's consider a very realistic example. Your parents die. Ouch. There's not much you can do to control this, can you? You cannot control when they'll die. What you can control is the amount of time you spend with them, right? The amazing memories you create with them, right? The amazing bonds and relationships you have with them, right? And even after their death, you cannot do anything to bring them back to life. Now you only have two options: grieve and just grieve without doing much, and at the end of the day become a loser, or grieve but at the same time follow your responsibilities and turn out successful. You see, you will grieve either way, but what will matter is how you utilize that spare time of yours. A lot of people will just be engulfed by this grief and will not be able to overcome it for a very long time. And what will happen is they'll just come out of them, their life is all in shambles. They don't have parents, they don't have money, they don't have relationships, they don't have good health, maybe not even a job, they are not able to support themselves at the end of the day. But a person who is disciplined, who has a growth mindset, you know what he'll do? He'll grieve internally. Everyone will. But at the same time, he'll follow his responsibilities. He'll go to work. He'll do all of his hours. He'll make all the money. He'll take care of his family. He'll maintain his good relationships, right? And what will happen is, at the end of the day, both of these people would have somewhat been used to their grief, but one will turn out as a loser and one will turn out as a winner. Now it's up to you if you want to be the loser or the winner, all right? Focus on what you can control. Don't focus on what you just cannot control. Some things in life will just be out of your reach, and you have to accept it, all right? You may not want to. It may be very uncomfortable to do so, but the fact of the matter is, we will have to accept change, and we'll have to do our best to adjust to it. Now, you see, the third and very important point, to be honest, is to use affirmations. Now, what do I mean by affirmations? I'd say affirmations are any sort of positive statements that can help you create a positive or a growth mindset. You see, you should use affirmations to remind yourself of your strengths and the things you're the most grateful of. This will help you to stay motivated and optimistic in life. I'll give you my own personal example. I keep on saying, man, I'm the best, or I'm so strong, or you know what, you can't do that because you're weak. I'm not, so I can, right? And when you are able to use such affirmations in your everyday life, and they don't even have to be so loud, some people may think this is very arrogant. To be honest, it's a very common psychological trick which you can play on yourself to achieve that success. You see, it's very obvious. If you're constantly going to be surrounded by, or you're constantly going to observe something, your mind is more likely to keep that in your brain, and constantly keep on revising that, than something you're only like, yeah, man, I should be successful. And the next thing you're in front of a TV or just eating chips on your couch. The thing is, this is how advertisements work, right? What do they do? Why do these companies like Gecko Advertising have a huge gecko, green gecko, selling you insurance doesn't make sense. The whole thing is they want you to remember this unique gecko selling you insurance so that next time you witness a real life gecko or the color green or scales like patterns and stuff, you're reminded of the insurance company, and that'll make you buy their insurance. Similarly, if you're always like, man, I'm the best, or man, I'm so strong, man, I go to the gym, man, I have so much discipline, I have so much self accountability, so much self confidence, willingness to learn, I have a growth mindset, I can visualize myself as a successful person, you are way more likely to actually win in life compared to someone who doesn't. You need to manipulate yourself to achieve the ideal goal. Coming to point number 4, find a good mentor. You see, having a mentor can be so astronomically helpful on your journey to self-improvement, because mentors can be such a valuable asset in your life. You can look up to them and see the things they have achieved, and they can also in return keep you in check. All right, so learn from their experiences and let them guide you on your journey. Now, I'd actually argue you don't need one mentor, you need multiple. Why? No one's perfect in life, and no one's going to be exactly the perfect replica of your ideal future self, who is successful, wealthy, has the perfect attitude, perfect relationships in life, So I'd suggest you to take the perfect attitude from person A and the perfect skill set to achieve the right kind of success in your field of work from person B, and the ability to make the best relationships from person C. Have a very wide array of mentors you can approach and you can look up to, which will make you the best person with the best sort of growth mindset. Now, who should be this mentor or these mentors? I'd argue it can be anyone you can either connect to if you feel like it, or who has a very regular influence on your life. Now, these can be people like your parents, your teachers, your friends, your even social media influencers like me. Hopefully I'll be a mentor for you guys. But yeah, so anyone who has a very significant influence on your life and someone you can look up to and aspire to be, and if you can connect to them when you need their help, is a very good mentor to have in your journey to building the right growth mindset. You see, the whole point of having a good mentor in your journey is so that you don't have to face the hardships while gaining the lessons from those hardships. All right, if my mentor has already been in my shoes and has already faced the hardships I am supposed to face and has already learned the lessons he was supposed to, I can just borrow those lessons from him without having to waste my time, right? And having to face those hardships, right? This is the whole purpose why people read self-help books, listen to role models, listen to people talk about their past experiences, all right? You need to do the same, all right? Find good social media influencers you can look up to. Find good mentors around you. I'd argue anyone who you have a strong relationship is the right mentor for you. Well, coming to point number 5, break down your bigger goals into subordinate, smaller, more achievable goals. Now, what do I mean by this? Let's say the goal is to write a book. I have to write a book by the end of the month. No, that's wrong. I have to complete chapter 1 by the end of the week. Okay, manageable. I have to complete the first 5 paragraphs of chapter 1 by the end of the day, right? Yeah, easy, manageable, understandable, all right? You need to break down a very broad dream slash goal into subordinate, more bite-sized, manageable, easy to work with sub goals. All right. Now, and this is very important in life. A lot of us have very glamorous ideas. I want to be rich, but how? You don't know that. How will you be rich? You need a good plan in your mind. Yeah. Break down your ideal goal. All right. I want to be rich. How will I do that? All right. So at the age of 16, I'll start my agency. All right. So I'll work with my agency. I'll start my YouTube. I'll promote on my YouTube. I'll also have my Instagram. I'll also promote on my Instagram, right? I'll create flyers, graphics, YouTube videos. I'll reach out to people and mentors like me, who work in the same industry as me. I'll go on cold calls and cold email everyone. You have to be very mindful of the way you go about achieving your goal, all right? Now, when I say this, I also want you guys to please keep in mind your goals, the top goal should be very astronomically, unbelievably hard to achieve. And you might be like, but that just contradicts your statement. You're like, your goals should be very sub and very bite-sized and easy to work with, handle, easy to complete. The thing is, what's the point of achieving something mediocre, which literally anyone can, right? You should be aiming for achieving something which not everyone can, and that's the reason why you will be successful and not everyone will. All right. I am really sorry for I just cannot remember when I read this, but apparently there was this situation where a company had a few salesmen working for them who had a target to reach $10,000 of sales by the end of the month. So what these salesmen will do, they'll just work the first week, achieve the target, and then just relax for the next 3 months and just collect the paycheck. Now, this company had a new CEO, all right? And this new CEO observed this, and he was like, you know what? No, I'm paying them and they're even working, and I can achieve so much more money from each one of these salesmen. So why am I not, right? So what he did was he raised the standard from $10,000 per month for each salesman to $25,000 per month. All right. And he was like, if you cannot achieve this by the end of the month, you will be fired. Now you see what happened. Very, very few of the salesmen were actually able to achieve the $25,000 per month range. But what ended up happening was not even a single salesman was still at $10,000 per month. Every single one of them improved his sales. You know why that happened? Because the CEO set such unbelievably hard guidelines and goals on them that if they had so much pressure on them that if they didn't complete that, that's the end. So what ended up happening was, even though the company wasn't able to have all their salesmen achieve the right goal at the end of the month, the company made so much more profit because every single one of the salesmen made more than they were. All right. So you need to understand that as you put guidelines and goals on yourself, you need to take accountability for them. All right. If I am saying, all right, dude, you have to get done with the book by the end of the month. It has to be like, if I don't get done with that book at the end of the month, someone else will. All right. So you need to be accountable. You need to be disciplined, and you need to go get that cake. Coming to point number 6, always be curious. You cannot have a growth mindset if you aren't curious. Curiosity can mean so much, but in my words, curiosity is the willingness to learn about a certain topic. Now, let's say I'm into astronomy, right? An ever-growing field, always having new inventions, new galaxies being discovered, new phenomena being discovered, right? Always challenging the core understanding of the subject, right? The thing is, if you aren't curious, you are never going to be a good astronomer or a good researcher, right? The thing is, The only reason we today remember the names of people like Isaac Newton, Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, it's only because they were so curious to know about things that they ventured out of the limitations of their minds, out of the limitations of their capabilities to think, which have been put there by society, by media, by your parents, by your friends, by your textbooks, by the curriculums. You need to break free if you wish to have a growth mindset. Imagine you're in 2016 during the cryptocurrency peak, right? And you're hearing whispers here and there about, oh, Bitcoin, Ethereum, decentralized digital currency, cryptocurrency is on its peak. You need to invest now. Now, what happened was there were two groups of people during this 2016 crypto peak. People who were curious and decided to look into it and ended up investing so much that they're today a millionaire. And people who were like hearing whispers here and there, and they were too ignorant to be like, cryptocurrency sounds interesting. Whatever. Watch back TVs and stuff. What's the difference between these two kinds of people? The first category, they're enjoying their riches. And the second category, they're still in front of their TV, still fat, still a loser. So if you want to be successful in life, if you want to have a good growth mindset, you can never be stagnant. You have to move with the flow of society. You have to move with the flow of latest technologies, latest inventions, latest political stances, latest news. All right? You have to be curious. Coming to point number 7, take care of your physical health. You see, many people in today's world just don't have the time or the motivation to just go to the gym, eat healthy, take care of their skin, take care of their body, be mindful of their physical health. And it's so damaging to today's world, to today's youth, because the media is trying to propagate all this information about body positivity and acceptance of various kinds of people, but they don't understand that young children, the youth, people like you and me, we may misunderstand this as not working out and not taking care of our physical health and well-being. Right? A recent study proved that a man's physical strength and physical appearance is directly proportional to you giving your money to them for their service. All right. So if a same guy with the same personality, same skills of selling you the product, but one who is jacked, has good pumped up arms, good broad chest, a lean waist, nice hunk like legs, is going to offer that service to you compared to a guy who is overweight, fat, has pimples all over his face, or has outgrown nails and just messy hair. You are very, very unlikely to give your money to the second person compared to the first. And that's because the human psyche looks for competence when they're willing to sacrifice their treasured material to them, right? If you're willing to sacrifice your hard-earned money, you want assurance that that person is so capable and determined to give you the product you have asked for, right? So taking care of your physical well-being is very important for you, especially as a guy in today's world. I'll also say that your physical health and your mental health are very much linked. Now, some of the people on the internet may say it's not, but the reality is that it is. All right. The fact that you have good physical health means you are very unlikely to have any sorts of diseases or any sorts of problems with your body. All right. If you're on the right nutrition, you're taking the right nutrition, you have the right supplements. All right. You are much unlikely to get into any sorts of these harmful diseases, and your mental health is going to be directly related to it, because as I said, a guy who is jacked and in shape is much more likely to get the job than a guy who isn't. All right, this just directly shows you you're going to be way better at your job, all right, or at your relationships, or at almost anything in life, just if you have a good shape. All right, so especially as a guy, it's very important for you to get in shape as soon as possible if you aren't yet. All right, focus on your nutrition, because yeah, temporary pleasure while eating the food you crave, or eating the food you love, which is full of calories, full of saturated fats, the thing is, it's only temporary. All right, but life isn't just temporary, it's a very long journey. And if you damage yourself at the very start, your entire journey is going to be ruined. All right, like imagine you're on a trip and you break your leg. Your entire journey is going to be painful. Your entire journey is going to be like, man, why did I do that thing? Why? Like, I could have had a perfectly normal and capable leg right now, and I would have been enjoying my trip. But why did I do that? Similarly, you're not going to regret this today when you are free of any harmful diseases. You're free of any sorts of shame thrown at you by society and societal standards. Today you feel like, oh, it's all fine, like, yeah, I'm just eating a little bit. You'll understand when you have the disease, when people reject you because of the way you look. You need to understand, as a man, your value is directly related to your status, and your status is directly related to the way you present yourself. So go out there, work hard, and achieve the best physical condition you can be in. Coming to point number 8, surround yourselves with the right people. Now, I cannot emphasize on this point anymore. I'd argue it's one of the most important points you have to follow if you're serious about maintaining a growth mindset and achieving success in your life. The thing is, we all have had those high school friends or those college buddies, who are have been there with us for almost our entire lives, and we have shared one of our most pleasant memories with them, laughing around, joking here and there, maybe having some insightful talks and stuff. But as a person serious about his life and serious about the successes he's capable of achieving, you need to sit there and think, are these people actually adding any sort of value to my life? And if the answer is not a clear cut, not even a second thought, yes, then I'd argue these people should not be the people you hang out with the most. All right, it's a very popular saying, you become the sum of the 5 people you hang out the most with, right? And I cannot agree with this anymore. The thing is, in today's world of the internet, it's not just your friends or your family who you're around. It's actually the influencers you have to be aware of. There's a reason why suddenly all these school pranksters are so common. All these high schoolers pranking their teachers and their friends. It's so much more common than it is today compared to it, 1950s. And there's a reason for that. These kids, the youth of today's world, is surrounded by influencers who are pranksters, who are getting views through these pranks and stuff. So these kids who are always around this content are going to absorb it and think, okay, I'm going to do this now. All right. Similarly, if you surround yourself with the right kind of people, the right kind of motivation, then you are going to be a disciplined, a motivated, a successful individual. And that's my guarantee. All right. You as a person need to need to drop certain people on your path to success, or honestly, you'll just be increasing your difficulty for no apparent reason. The thing is, it's much better to have one friend who is always there to push you forward. He's always there to be like, man, you can't even do 20 push-ups, man, you're weak. And then he does the 20 push-ups. The thing is, I'd argue a true friend is someone who'll bully you to the point where you become better to prove him wrong. All right. Bullying is not something I'd say is bad unless it's at a very high level. Bullying is providing pressure to individuals, which will ultimately help them to become better. All right. If a guy is always bullied in high school, he won't either. It can be two ways, right? He'll be bullied and he'll stay a loser throughout his life and say, oh, it's because of bullying. I was bullying in high school. That's why I'm a loser today. All right. 20 years from now. Or he can be a bullied child who learns from his trauma and is like, you know what? I'm done with this. If that bully comes back again, I'm going to smack him. And then I'm never going to get bullied again. And his confidence will increase. If he truly wants to be capable of violence, he'll have to work out. He'll have to become stronger. And becoming stronger is always a positive thing, right? You need to surround yourselves with the positive people, with the positive mindset, if you want to be the right kind of successful, positive individual you aspire to be. Coming to point number 9, always celebrate your successes. And I have to say this because a lot of people in the self-improvement community don't talk about this topic. Thing is, we all promote stoicism. Well, I do appreciate what stoicism brings to the table, and I do think stoicism is something every guy should follow. A lot of people get too into it and don't understand there's a very fine line between being a stoic and being emotionless, right? So what tends to happen is a lot of people who are like, you know what, I'm tired of this life of mine, I'm gonna do some self-improvement, and like they try to become a stoic, and what happens is they don't celebrate their successes, right? If I'm able to not eat anything unhealthy, if I'm able to go to the gym regularly, follow my diet plan, sleep for 8 hours a day, work out with my utmost efficiency, I'll celebrate that. If I'm disciplined, if I know I have to put down my phone and I have to start recording a video, I will do that. And that's being a disciplined man, right? And you need to celebrate that, right? You need to reward yourself. The thing is, a lot of people tend to become emotionless, and that's exactly why the red pill or the self-improvement community gets such a bad rap. It's because people think that it makes men emotionless, and that's exactly what we should not be. All right, a person who does not have the right control over his or her emotions is a violent person. All right, if you are not able to control when you should feel happy or sad, when you should feel angry or pitiful, you are gonna be probably in jail. And the reason for that is all these school shooters and all these vandalists and every prisoner, these people were not able to control their emotions. All right, the only reason why a school shooter shoots at children in schools is because he isn't a stoic, right? Or he's emotionless. He doesn't know how to control his anger, his emotions, his trauma potentially, and the way he takes it out on the world is wrong, right? So it's my responsibility to tell all of you watching this, don't forget that it's your responsibility to reward yourselves for every single action, every single minute achievement that you achieve in life. All right, I also see a lot of people who are like always hustling, right? And while I personally think life is a war and we should always be working to be more prepared, be more aggressive, be more active in this war, I also think that you should celebrate your minor victories, right? You cannot just celebrate, okay, I made my first ever $1 million. I'm going to celebrate that. No, it's not every day you're going to make your first ever $1 million. It's not every day you're going to get married. It's not every day you're going to have a child. It's not every day you're going to graduate school, right? These are very few and very huge achievements which you have to celebrate. But the thing is, every single achievement counts. All right, you were supposed to get a 90 on your test, but you got a 95. Celebrate that. You were able to surpass your capabilities, your expectations. Celebrate that. Don't become emotionless. Celebrate your emotions and just be happy for the hard work you put in, because at the end of the day, life, no one knows how long your life is. So expecting to be happy when you earn the $1,000,000 is not a very practical or a very reliable way to live your life. Live your life in the moment. Guys, I can't emphasize on this, but point 10 is maintain the growth mindset. Right? There's no point in you listening to this entire video and just following the growth mindset for maybe a week or two and then just giving up on it, like almost every person tries to. Right? The thing is, anything that is valuable in life is not supposed to come easy. All right? No one becomes rich easily. All right? You have to work for it. You have to put in the hours. You have to sweat through those hopeless days you're just not willing to work at all, but you still have to man up and you still have to take care of your responsibilities and go there and work and maintain your iron mind, your growth mindset. Right? Thing is, you just cannot quit, because if you do, you only wasted your time, and time is very precious. It's the most precious currency in the world. All right? You can get money back, you can get relationships back, you can even secure your health back, but you can never get the same time back. All right? So value your time and value your commitments to yourself. All right? Respect yourself if you wish others to respect you. If you yourself are incapable of respecting your life goals and your life decisions, then you're never going to be respected by anyone. All right? You just don't have responsibility towards yourself. You also have a responsibility towards the people you love, the people who are dependent on you, the people who will be dependent on you in the future. All right? So just please don't quit. All right? If you have any doubts, I'm there. You can just hit me up anytime, or just talk to your parents, your friends, your family members, your teachers. Just talk to them. I'd say a lot of people tend to just break on their path to self-improvement because it's either too much to take in, or it's a lot of pressure which they're not used to. Thing is, in life, nothing comes easy, and you need to work for it. So yeah, I'll tell you all good luck, right, on this journey of self-improvement and maintaining a growth mindset. I'll continue to make more videos related to the topic, right? So stay tuned and hit like and subscribe if you haven't yet. And yeah, please follow me on this journey, and I'll talk more about business, my own journey of as an agency owner. I'll also talk more about self-help and self-improvement content in the near future. So stay tuned and have a nice day. Thank you.